It's Melissa and welcome back to my channel. So today I have another layout for the Confessions of a Paper Addict cut files design team, and I am using the Fluttering Heart Cutfile. It's a single cut file and I decided to cut it 4 times and make a grid layout because I love the way a grid looks. So I'm using the Crepe Paper All Heart collection, which I absolutely love. And at this point I wanted to use a pattern paper background, and I thought the star one was a good neutral. It has, like a lot of crepe papers, either distressing or like watercolor drops on it, or ink drops. It has that printed on the paper, and I thought that would go well because there is a lot of pink in the collection. And I went through the 8.5 by 6, it was an 8 by 6 paper pad, and selected 2 of the pink patterns and 2 of the white background patterns, and I just thought it looked really good on the star paper. So the photos I am scrapbooking are from, I think 3 weekends ago we went to Dunedin for a jiu-jitsu tournament, and this is of my daughter Azaria. She actually chose the cut file when I selected, because we get to select 2 for the month, and I asked her what one she would like me to work with for a photo of her, and she chose the Fluttering Heart. So I of course had to scrapbook photos of her, and the reason I selected these photos are because they're very neutral. Her and her opponent are wearing a white gi, and then the background is black and white. So this was at an MMA, mixed martial arts gym in Mosgiel in Dunedin, and that was an amazing experience. The 3 of us, my son, myself, and Azaria, competed, and these photos show her competing, and then she got a silver medal, and so it shows her getting that silver medal and her moment on the podium. So at this point I had thought that I would have all 4 of these photos on this layout, and with the Fluttering Heart, as you can see, you can lift up the edges of it, and so my idea was to tuck the photos into that cut file, and I think with all of them I tuck it behind that central heart. And yeah, I had to make sure that I tucked it in a way that it didn't cover anyone's face or too much of the photo. So I'm trying to think, at one point I decided that the 4 photos weren't going to work. I still wanted to get some embellishment on here. I need to get my journaling, and I need to get a title. So because the background is quite neutral, the photos are very neutral, I have a white background on my photos as always, and because I have the pattern paper hearts, I needed to add some photo mats onto my photos. And at this point I'm thinking I'm not really sure about that star paper. So I went through the papers that I bought. I don't think I bought the entire collection, but I'm quite careful when I purchase that I make sure that I get some neutral kind of patterns that are going to work as a background. So I'm just going through what I've got. I think this is the 2nd or 3rd layout that I've made with this collection, and I'm just sort of auditioning these papers. The white with the black polka dots was too busy. This craft one with the print on it, I didn't want to cover up the inspired floral and also the words at the top, so I did like it, but it wasn't going to work either. And then I just decided to go with my trusty white cardstock, and I thought I need to add a border because at the moment those hearts are sort of floating, and I need something to anchor the eye to the page. So I'm going with the white cardstock, and then there's that pattern paper that's got the emoji heart speech bubbles. And then because it is so stark and there's so much neutral, I wanted to add a little bit of, it's not really mixed media because I'm only doing splattering with ink, but I needed to add something to the background to give it a bit of interest. So I went with 2 different shades of pink and one darker colour. I went with pewter because this collection doesn't really feature gold, it features silver or grey. So then I stitched through the middle of these. I did think about stitching before I glued them down around all of those bits of the heart, but as you can see top right of the screen, my sewing machine decided to have a hissy fit. I had put a new bobbin in it. I always have this trouble. Anyway, I can't fix it. I didn't want to rip this apart and start again. I'm just going to go with it because we're not about perfection. We're about documenting our memories, having fun, although the sewing machine moment was not fun. Yeah, it's handmade. These things happen, and I just didn't want to waste any of the paper that I'd already used. So I just go with it. I don't even bother trying to cover it up. It is what it is, and I don't think people are going to look through my album and go, "Hey, how come you went crooked on that piece?" And I think that the photos and the hearts and the embellishment totally distract you from that little mishap. So here I don't show you me doing every single heart, but I have popped up part of the photo, and I've popped up with dimensional adhesive the heart, and then I've added tiny pieces of dimensional adhesive behind each of the bits of the heart. I added that it's acrylic with glitter. It's really chunky and really gorgeous. Just a heart on that one, bottom left. And what I will say is they are sticky backed, but you'll want to have to add some liquid adhesive as well. I had this displayed in my lounge and that heart fell off. So I just think it's because it's so heavy and so chunky. Just something to bear in mind if you're using them. So then I am starting to embellish. I have a sticker sheet. I've got the sticker pack, which some of them are translucent stickers and I think some of them are not. And I've also got the chipboard sheet. I've also got the ephemera pack. There's a couple of pieces of ephemera on this now, but they don't stay. That camera and that tag. That's the chipboard. It's such a deep, thick chipboard that I found that when I pull them off, the backing came away, but it doesn't matter because then you can use like double-sided tape or liquid adhesive, and then you can place the bits anywhere you want without committing to them. So sometimes I actually take that adhesive piece off the back of chipboard. So now I'm just adding some sentiments. The girl power one I thought was appropriate. The best because she was getting her silver medal. The yay for today because it was an awesome day. And just going through these the sticker pack. I added some pink flowers just to soften the edges of my photos. So I went with one on the corner of every photo. They are photorealistic, some of these embellishments, and they're absolutely gorgeous. This is it's like an enamel, not enamel, puffy, kind of in between an enamel and a puffy sticker, but they are phrases and words and a few icons. I did think about calling it, I think it says she is gold or you are gold. Even though she got a silver, I thought about, excuse me, making a play on that even though she got silver, she's still gold, if that makes sense. But then I decided, no, we won't do that. These are the puffy stickers, and they are just absolutely beautiful. I love the texture. I love the little icons. So I added a heart. I think it says XOXO. I can't remember and I can't see in my little screen. And yeah, just looking at the ephemera and trying to decide what else I want to add. So I did consider using that Hey You tag, and I think I considered using it a few times, but it doesn't quite work. So that little XO I had to add some adhesive too because, like I said, the backing had come off. And then in these puffy enamel kind of stickers, there was a Go Girl. And I thought that would be perfect for my title because it really was a Go Girl kind of moment. It's her first tournament, my second, and I think my son, it was his third. And I was so proud of her getting out there and doing it. So then I saw these stars and I thought, she's a bit of a star, so we'll add them as well. And just building little clusters of embellishment around the hearts. Now, I didn't want my embellishment to completely take over those hearts. They are the feature of my grid, and because it's, the cut file. And so it's a fine balance between overdoing it and not adding enough. Now, this chipboard tag, that comes from the chipboard sheet as well, and I did take the backing off that one so that I could be sure that that's where I want to place it. It says yay for today, and I think it's quite photorealistic too. And so I'm just using some double-sided tape to stick that down. Now, I don't show you my journaling on here because one of my kids took my pen and I couldn't find it. And so eventually I did find it, but you'll see it in the final shot at the end and in my close-ups that I just added journaling about the event and how proud I was. There's my little trick on how to tie a bow to get the little tails to face down. You tie it upside down. I wasn't too worried about how perfect that was. And yeah, that is my layout there, and you'll see in a sec as I add the journaling and the final shot. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this process. Do go and check out the Confessions of a Paper Addict Etsy shop. I'll put the link below, and also join the Facebook group and keep an eye out on the Instagram page. Thank you so much for watching.